Hey everybody, Allie Gear with Yoga Medicine, and I'm here to share with you one of my favorite techniques to really help release tension, kind of in that sacrum, pelvis area, low back area, an area we often refer to as the SI joint or the sacroiliac joint. So for me, in my experience, what's really helpful after I've gone for a long walk or a run, these areas tend to get really tight and intense. And so hydration and self-myofascial release into this space can really help enhance the quality of mobility in the tissues. So real quick here, I just want to show you exactly where we're going to be going. So if you peep over here on my computer, I've got the anatomy pulled up, and what you see is the back side of the pelvis. So you can see the ilium, and I'm just going to select that so you can see it in green. You see the ilium, and then you can also see the sacrum here. And then if you see kind of this junction between the sacrum and the ilium, it's a really tiny space. That's called your sacroiliac joint. Now the area that we're going to be focusing on is called the PSIS, and I'm going to go ahead and place a pen there, and I'll get real close so you can kind of see where that pen just landed. So I placed a pen kind of right in the area at the top of the ilium and where the sacrum connect. And this is called the PSIS, so the posterior superior iliac spine. So to find this on your own body, all you're going to do here is place your hands onto the top of your hip bone. And you can kind of feel like this inner edge of your palm is going to be right at the top of that hip bone. And then I'm going to turn around so that you see where we're going. So if you place your hands on the top of your hip bone, and then you start to go towards the back of your spine, you're going to find where that hip bone kind of comes to a junction point. And if you bring your thumbs onto that junction point, if you start to kind of make little circles with your thumb, I call this kind of like the dimple of the butt, right? Or this little bony protuberance. That's where that pin was. This is called the PSIS. This is going to be the area that we're going to work on releasing. So I'm going to head to my mat, and we're going to go through that release. So come onto your backs. And you can do this release with a foam roller. This is the Axle from Rad Roller. You could also use a really tight rolled up mat, which can feel really nice, a little more gentle. Additionally, especially if you're in a time of flare up, it's going to be helpful to use a blanket, a really tight blanket rolled up really, really tight. So when you're ready, choose your tool and then come onto your back. So coming onto your back, just take a moment here, and I just want you to drop into your breath. When we do myofascial release, it's so important that we just take a moment to center ourselves and really arrive into our breath. Breath is really key for the ability of our tissues to relax and to actually unwind. So if we're holding our breath, we're not able to get that release. With your knees bent and your feet hip-width apart, I want you to take the tool that you're using, and you're going to slide that right underneath your pelvis, right at that PSIS, the dimple of the butt, and then you're going to lower your hips down. So once you land down, it's almost going to feel as if your pelvis is kind of tilting forward, and that's okay. And then what I'd like for you to do is slowly take one foot off the floor and then the other, and just kind of let your knees relax. And then take a moment just to kind of land. Your thoracolumbar fascia is right in this area, so lots of dense tissue that's built for stability, but mobility is not necessarily a given. So I want you just to take a moment to come into your breath. And then you're going to take both of your knees and you're going to lean over to that right side bony protuberance, or the right side PSIS. It doesn't have to be exact, but right in that area here, leaning over. And then nice and slow with your right knee, I want you to start to take little circles with your right knee. And if you need your hands on the floor for balance, feel free to do that. And they're real small circles, so you can kind of just imagine this little bit of gliding in that really tiny area that we looked at where the ilium and the sacrum connect. And then you're going to take your left knee and you're going to start to create circles. These little circles, getting these tissues to really just kind of start to move with each other. Also really great for sending hydration, blood flow, circulation into the area. So both knees are still over to the right, and now I'm just taking circles with my left knee. And then both of your knees are going to stay over to the right, and then watch the feet here. My feet are going to start walking back and forth. And this is going to be really good for kind of creating that mobility within the pelvis. And then you're going to come back to center. Take a moment, breathe in, and breathe out. And then you're going to take both of your knees now. We'll go to the second side. You're going to shift your knees over to that left side PSIS. And you're going to pause and just land on top of the tissues. Don't be forceful. Just let your weight support you. And then with your left knee, you're going to start to just take that left knee and make little tiny circles. Nice and easy here. Nice, easy breath. And then same thing on the right knee, same side. Start to take those little circles with your right knee. And then with both of the feet together, you're going to start to walk your feet back and forth, really getting that idea of this mobility that is so important for these tissues, for the pelvis, for the legs, for the spine even. And then you're going to come back to center, take a full breath in, exhale it out, and then just really gentle, just kind of massage side to side, massaging all this tissue of the low back, all this connective tissue that supports us, stabilizes this really important weight-bearing area of the body. And then you're going to pause and center, take a full breath in, exhale it out, lower one foot to the floor at a time, and then I personally like to add a little supported bridge. So I'm going to lower my roller or whatever's underneath me just about a ½ inch. So now it's going across my sacrum, and now my pelvis is neutral again. So it's not tilting forward anymore. And then just take a moment here. Feel your feet landing into the ground. Feel your sacrum really just resting into that tool. And then just take a few releasing breaths here. Kind of just noticing and imagining all that blood flow, all that circulation, supporting the lower limbs of the body, maybe even all the way into the feet. And then you're going to use your feet to support you. You're going to lift your pelvis, slide that tool out from underneath you, lower your hips down to the floor, hands onto the belly, take a full breath in, and an exhale out. And then take a moment just kind of washing the knees from left to right, just getting that hydration, blood flow, and movement into the pelvis, into the sacrum, and into that SI joint. Maybe take your knees over to the left and stay. Take a full breath in, full breath out. And then bring your knees back to center, knees over to the right. Stay, take a full breath. And then bring your hands back to center, knees back to center. Take a full breath into the body. Exhale, release. Use this whenever you need to. I hope you enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions. Namaste.